The Ilhan Omar Ocasio-Cortez wing of lefty academia is who's responsible for planting a public policy contagion, in my opinion. They planted a public policy contagion known as these dramatic simulations. And governments freaked out. Because before, governments were tracking this and thinking, all right, given we've got better healthcare systems than Italy, all right, even if something like that happens here, compared to what we have to deal with cold and flu season with 331 million people in the United States, we can handle this. We got respirators on standby. We can do this, okay? And it's a little bit like, to put it in terms you and I would understand as regular people. You see a commercial for a Lexus on TV, and you're like, oh man, I could never afford that. And then at the end of the commercial, it says, you could lease this for $350 a month. And then you and the Mrs. or the Mr. decide just, maybe $350 a month. I don't know. Maybe we can squeeze that ride into our budget, right? Then when you show up at the car dealership, they tell you there's no more financing and you have to buy it out of pocket. And it's $50,000. And your sticker shock is, oh bleep, we cannot afford that. And you panic and eject. That is what Imperial College did to the U.S. government. The U.S. government went from looking at this responsibly. First event, let's shut down Chinese travel, right? Let's look at this piecemeal, okay? And went cataclysmic, pedal to the metal when this simulation was. You know why? Because it was fed to all of the medical professionals. This was where all the medical professionals got their data, was this simulation and others like it. Well, now we're almost a full month into this. And the trajectory is not what is in these simulations. And mass social distancing is not giving us a better ceasing of the infection rate than practicing the traditional models of herd immunity, targeted isolations that we've used for thousands of years. Understand that people with primitive medicines did this. People who literally thought everybody who was sick was demon possessed, understood in other eras of human history to practice herd immunity, quarantine the isolated. If they had not done those things properly, we wouldn't be here today. Humanity would have died out thousands of years ago. We've been battling plagues long before Al Gore invented the internet, folks. But we abandoned a lot of those models and went with this new way. And now we're getting data in that showing we're not really seeing any difference in the mortality rate. We're not seeing really any difference in the infection rate. But we are seeing a massive socioeconomic cataclysm. And that's what this piece in the Washington Post points out. It's time to start having this conversation, that we can afford to do this. Because here's the other thing. Well, we need more masks. We need more ventilators. We need more respirators. We need more medical equipment. Where's that all going to get made? Who's going to make it? Because those are the jobs I cannot just in my 3D printer at home fire off a design for masks and print 10 million copies and then ship them out. The jobs that you need to fight this are the ones that cannot be done from home. And we shut all these industries down. And now we're seeing the data shows it didn't give us any more of an advantage than if we had not. And so now lefty academia is turning on itself. Make no mistake, Stanford University doesn't agree with us on global warming, and neither does Oxford, and thinks we're all a bunch of rubes. I promise you that is true. But you know what they're also don't want to be? The ones that at the end of this are get the blame for causing 30% unemployment, mass suicide rates, family dysfunction, Great Depressions. They don't want that on their conscience either. Because if they're wrong on this, we're never going to listen to them on the stuff they want us to listen. We're not going to listen to them later on 57 genders. We're not going to listen to them later on keep doing abortion to thin demographics. If they're wrong on something this existential, all the other stuff we're going to just say, screw you, man. We know we can't trust you. So they're pushing back because this is political for them too. Their integrity is on the line here. They have to be right. And if they overshot this whatsoever, and whole ways of life are never fully ever repaired after this, they're the Flat Earth Society, guys. They are the Flat Earth Society. We're not believing them on anything of controversy. Do I really have to give, and I'm pro-vaccine, but do I really have to give my 13-year-old daughter a HPV? Really? Is that kind of overkill? There's 57 genders? Really? Because they just told me it was a boy or girl when we had all our kids. I really got to kill all my babies, but yet we have to bring in all these unskilled foreign workers because we have a worker shortage? What's the best way to fill a worker shortage? Have more babies, right? In other words, if they're wrong on this, they are discredited on everything going forward. And so now the Nancy Pelosi wing of academia is beginning to push back on the Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib wing and say, you guys are going to freaking knife us based on the trend lines we are seeing.